Well, hello there. Today I'll be ranking the MCU projects that I've seen because I haven't seen a few of them because I just don't care nowadays. The MCU is in a bit of a weird spot for me now because I don't think it's really any good. This is all just my opinion, so if you don't agree, that's alright. These are the tiers I have. Spectacular, great, really good, good, average, meh, bad, really bad, awful, and I haven't seen. That's 10 tiers for the MCU. Starting it off, we have The Incredible Hulk. I have seen this movie once. I don't like it all that much. It's not there really. It's not bad. It's not good. Edward Norton's great. The final battle is pretty cool, so that's a meh. It's not awful, it's just enjoyably bad. Enjoyably aggressively average. But just a bit underneath average because it is aggressively average. Then we got Iron Man, the first one. I don't need to say much. It's the first Iron Man movie. It is really, really good. I don't need to say anything. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you have seen it, go watch it again. Now we have Iron Man 2, which it's really bad. It is really bad. I do not like Iron Man 2. I don't think it's pure garbage, like a lot of people say, but I do not think it is, underrated, as a lot of people also do say. It's just really, really bad. Then we have 4. It's alright. I like it. I do like it. I think it's actually a good movie. It's very rewatchable. It's a bit different for the MCU. Well, what it is now. Captain America, the First Avenger. It's pretty good. It is a pretty good movie. The first act is definitely the strongest. Second act is pretty cool. Third act, it kind of collapses. But then we also have the last scene. The last scene of this movie is absolutely beautiful. That last line is just amazing. The last scene of this movie is perfect. Overall, it's pretty good. Avengers. The first Avengers. The first Avengers movie, yeah, I don't need to say much. It's really changed the entirety of the film industry, for better or for worse, probably both. Now everyone's trying to do a cinematic universe. Don't. Iron Man 3. Controversial opinion. I really like this movie. Iron Man 3 is well acted, well written, the action's really good, the humor's on point, and I know everyone says, Trevor shows up, but the Mandarin was a joke. I think Trevor's the best MCU character that exists, and that twist was perfect. It was perfect. Everything, to the last minute detail. I haven't seen The Boys. I just seen that clip a lot. So that's the best description for the movie. Really, I don't. Iron Man 3, in my opinion, is definitely underrated, and I think more people should start accepting it. Oh, Thor: The Dark World. I'll admit, I don't hate it. I think it's bad. I don't think it's awful. It's not even really bad. It has probably one of the worst villains of Marvel, and sure, it looks bland and bleak, but it is enjoyable, especially the dynamic between Loki and Thor. The two of them are really good in the movie, so I don't think it's all that bad. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. what am I gonna say? Spectacular. I don't need to say anything. It is amazing. That's all I need to say, really. And then we have Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't need to say anything. That's really all. Yes, Avengers: Age of Ultron. Alright. I will probably get crucified for this, but I think it's great. Ultron is amazing. The action is amazing. The writing is a bit off, but overall it is really good. And it set up the entirety of Phase 3. You wouldn't have, well, we wouldn't have Avengers Infinity War or Endgame or really any of Phase 3 if this movie didn't set up all of it. And you may argue that, yeah, it's just a movie about setting up the future. Yes, but it was also a really good standalone movie. The first act is enjoyable, second act is really good, especially the party scene where it's nice to see these superheroes just being friends and hanging out. And the third act is really cool, but the best part of the movie is easily the conversation between Vision and Ultron at the end of the third act. That scene is easily one of the best in the entirety of the MCU, and I don't need to say much. I think it's a really good underrated movie. More people need to be open to this movie, and Iron Man 3. These are two really good movies, but I guess they're paled in comparison to The Winter Soldier or Guardians of the Galaxy. So, what can you do? Next we have Ant-Man. I don't need to say anything. Ant-Man is average. Paul Rudd is great. The movie's average. Aggressively average. This movie would be meh, really, if not for Paul Rudd and just how good the third act of the movie was. With, you know, them fighting on the Thomas the Train set, and it just looks so epic coming towards them. Then just cut to the angle, and it's just a little train falling off. It's really, really creative, which is why this doesn't go in meh, but is in average, because the entire movie is just aggressively average. Civil War. I think it's really good. I think it's a really good movie. There's not much to say. It's really good. The airport battle, looking back on it now, it could have had a bit more creative design in the visuals instead of just a, you know, grey airport for all these colourful superheroes to smash into each other on a grey airport ground. I don't get it. They could have put more thought into it, but I guess that just fits the tone of the movie because it is more bleak and realistic and political, and it's more fit in the real world than, you know, a colourful superhero punch out world. This doesn't really make sense. Doctor Strange. It lies in between these two. It's good or average. I don't really know. I've seen it a few times on TV. I don't really think much of it. The visuals are really cool. The story is fine. The acting is pretty good. It's just, you know, it's good. It's a good movie. I like Doctor Strange. I can enjoy it every time it comes on TV. Though I don't think it's groundbreaking. Oh, it might be groundbreaking with the visuals, but apart from that, it's, you know, your average superhero story, but it's saved by a pretty good performance from, you know, what's her name? Rachel McAdams and Benedict Cumberbatch. And also, just some of the best visuals I've ever seen. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I'm just gonna say it. This is my favourite MCU movie. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is heart, emotion, action, a flair of this James Gunn style. It's perfect. It is just perfect. Everything about Guardians 2 is perfect. I could gush on this movie for days. And it's just the best thing the MCU has made by far. It's just perfect. Guardians 1 is also spectacular, but Guardians 2 just edges it out for the pure emotion. It is a movie filled with heart, and it is unbelievably good. It is. I did not think the MCU could ever make something this good, and then they pulled out Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and that's it. I'm a fan of the MCU. That was it. I'm a fan of the MCU because Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is just perfect. Spider-Man: Homecoming. It's average. I don't like it. Not that much. I don't think it's bad or even meh. I think it's average. It's a fun movie, but I don't like it and I don't dislike it. It's the middle ground. It's not much. There's not much to Spider-Man: Homecoming because they don't give you much. So yeah, it's enjoyable. It's fun. I see a lot of people like it. I don't personally. I think it's bad, and I don't think it's good. So it's just in the middle ground, really. Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, that's just great. It's great. It is hilarious. It's got style, it's hilarious, the action is good, the writing is good, the villain is pretty good, Thor goes on a pretty good journey. It's just a really good movie. I don't need to say much. It is really funny, really, filled with style, and, Taika Waititi does know how to make a movie. Unless he, kinda forgets to actually finish the script and he uses the first edition draft for a certain movie, if you know what I mean. Sometimes you may need to finish the script before you start filming a movie. Black Panther. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for both the Black Panther movies because I think it's really good. It's really good. I know a lot of people think it's the best movie Marvel has done. No. CGI is lackluster. The story is okay. But yeah, Chadwick gives a great performance. The villain is amazing. The movie is really good. Just not that spectacular because it falls flat in the third act, and also the story kind of. Well, I like the story. I do like the plot, but I don't think it is that great of a movie. Avengers: Infinity War. I don't need to say much. That's it. Spectacular. I don't need to say anything. It's amazing, absolutely amazing to watch this in cinema for the first time. The silence at the end was unmatched. We were just sitting there. I remember this. We were just sitting there through the credits, through the entirety of the credits. No one left their seat. That was true. A full house, and no one left their seat. We just sat through the credits in silence. That's just unbeatable. Unbeatable until Avengers Endgame, because Avengers Endgame is really good. It's really good. It's great, to be honest. It's a great movie. Spider-Man: Far From Home. I'll be honest. It's my favorite out of the Spider-Man trilogy. Yep. It is my favorite. I really do like Mysterio. I do like the story. I think it's a better high school movie than the first. Not really. The first movie is definitely the better high school movie, but this movie is, a high school field trip, and it is perfect in that it's awkward, it's funny, it's everyone insulting each other, and it captures that high school field trip perfectly. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah, I don't care really. It's just there. It's enjoyable to watch, after Infinity War. It's a nice palate cleanser to make you less depressed. But it's just enjoyably there. You know what I mean? Captain Marvel. So I don't really like it. It's not that good. But it's not as awful as, the people say. There's people that say Captain Marvel is awful, Captain Marvel is terrible, Brie Larson's a terrible actress. They just hate women. That's all you need to know. I think Brie Larson is a pretty good actress, but they don't really give her much to do here. And also, the literal plot of the movie was she had that thing in her neck or something that suppress her emotions. So I find it's hard to act with emotion if your character is supposed to have no emotion. And all those people like the critical drinker or whatever their names are. I just know him, and a lot of what's the other guy? Nerdrotic. Those people, they're just misogynists. They hate women. I don't think this movie's bad because Brie Larson, Captain Marvel was awful. I just think it's not good, but it's not bad. I can watch it. It's a fun 90s movie, but I'm not going to watch it many times. It's just there. WandaVision. Yeah, I haven't seen WandaVision. I don't really know. I didn't catch up on the hype, in 2021, I think it was. I didn't really feel the need to watch it. But I did watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and all I gotta say is that was really bad. So I guess that really put me off for a while. Because I really, really didn't like that. I thought it was 6 episodes that just needed to be a 1 hour and a half movie, because it was dry, the villains were awful, the cinematography was boring, the story was boring. The new Captain America is pretty good, not Falcon. I mean, that Walker guy, he was pretty cool. And I like the talk about, black people and the black super soldier guy. I did like that, but apart from this just sludge and dull and really didn't need to be 6 episodes long. It just should have been a movie. So it's really bad for me. Black Widow. I hate Black Widow. I really hate Black Widow. The movie came 6 years too late and also did not need to happen, and also I wish it never happened because it is god awful. It is so bad. I can overlook the very weak writing and weak action and crappy CGI of the first 2 acts, but the third act just dies. Because the first 2 acts are very weak and very aggressively bad. But I enjoyed some of it. I didn't think it was, I didn't think it was unwatchable. Then the third act killed it. The action was terrible. The CGI was so cartoonish. And the villain, Taskmaster, is the biggest waste in history. And Dreykov, if you can't smell him, you can't hit him. What If? I haven't seen What If. I don't plan to see it. I don't really care about the what ifs. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is good. It's a good movie. It's a pretty good movie. I'll give them that. It's got style, it's got heart, it's got a very good emotional connection between Shang-Chi and his father. And the action is perfect. That's all I need to say. The action is perfect. They really put the effort into it this time. Then the third act just dies. You got this really, really emotional fight between Shang-Chi and his dad, and Shang-Chi's using his mother's techniques. It's really emotional, really good. Then, his dad dies, and then we get the big CGI dragons. The emotional fight between Shang-Chi and his dad should have been the end, instead of another, CGI mesh, with another CGI mesh going, like someone's taking out How to Train Your Dragon figures and going, just don't, Marvel, just let it be. like the Beatles. You ever heard of that song? You referenced it in Infinity War. You referenced the band. I know you've heard of it. Let it be. Let the emotional connection be the one. Don't have a ridiculously stupid CGI big dragon fight. You're not a 4-year-old taking Toothless and with Hiccup on top and, you know, hitting the big bad dragon from How to Train Your Dragon 2, and you're not, you know, you're not a 4-year-old doing. But yeah, Shang-Chi's a good movie. Shang-Chi is a good movie. I do like it. Eternals. Oh, really bad. It's really bad. I don't like it. I do appreciate that it is more mature in parts. The humor is still killing me. And I do like that it was, you know, shot less with green screens, mostly in real location. I like that. That's cool, and Marvel finally realized how to make a real movie. But it just needed to be a TV show. I don't need to say much. It just had to be a TV show, because this wasn't it. It really wasn't. Hawkeye. I haven't seen it. I don't plan to. I'm sure it's fun. I might watch it one day, just if I'm bored and I need entertainment. But I don't plan on it, because I don't really need to. No Way Home. It's good. It's a good movie. If you overlooked the fact that Toby shows up, Andrew Garfield shows up, you know, Willem Dafoe shows up, everyone shows up. It's a very poorly written movie. And yeah, but I do still like it. I think it's a pretty good movie. Just not amazing, because it really isn't. It's got weak writing. You know, Doctor Strange risks the entire world and brainwashes everyone so his kid can get into college. That's just ridiculous. That's just absolutely ridiculous. But it's an enjoyable movie, and it was really good to see in theaters back in December 2021. But yeah, it's not perfect, it's not great, it's very flawed, but it's a really pretty good movie. Moon Knight. Alright, it's great. It is my favourite of all the Marvel shows that I've seen. I really liked it. I think the world needs more Oscar Isaac. And you know, the focus on mental health is pretty cool, and the Egyptian stuff is great. Easily the best, well, not the best, but my favourite of the Marvel shows. But you know, the best Marvel show, it's Loki. I don't need to say much. Loki is easily the best of the Marvel shows, because I haven't really seen WandaVision, but I know it falls apart, this people say in the final episode, with, you know, CGI red magic against CGI purple magic going Vision and White Vision, you know, with the beams coming from the heads going like a Harry Potter scene. It apparently falls apart at the end. But so far, Loki is easily the best one I've seen. It's not my favourite, but I do think it is the best one that Marvel has made so far. Just waiting for Loki season 2, because I did watch Loki last month for the first time. I didn't catch it on Disney Plus, because I didn't really have Disney Plus back in 2021. But I did catch it last month, and I liked it. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Jesus. I hate this movie. I hate it. It's poorly written, poorly CGI'd, boring action. Sure, we don't even get, you know, the action's fine, but we don't even get multiverse. You know, not even many multiverses. There's like 3 universes they go through. That's it. There's no multiverse, no madness. The cameos are so awfully written in with Patrick Stewart and all. It's I hate it, but I think it's okay. It's a meh. I don't think it's a terrible movie, but I personally hate it. I walked out of the theatre back in May 2022, yeah. I walked out of that and I hated it from the start. Then I went to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I can't believe I spent my money on Multiverse of Madness when Everything Everywhere All at Once exists. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad movie. It's meh. But personally, I hate the experience of watching it, but I don't hate the movie, and I don't think it's a bad movie. It's just there. But I personally hate it. Miss Marvel, I haven't seen it. I don't plan to see it. It's not really required. There's nothing important that happens. Maybe it, I know there's a clip of Miss Marvel and, what is her name, Captain Marvel, they switch bodies, and I know that shows up in the Marvels, so that might be an important part, but I don't care, because it's in the Marvels. They're going to explain it, because I'm not going to watch Miss Marvels just for Captain Marvel 2. I don't care enough. Oh, I might not even watch Captain Marvel 2, to be honest. But yeah, no, I don't plan on watching it, so that's that. Thor Love and Thunder. So remember when I said Taika Waititi can really direct a movie if he, remembers to take the full script instead of the first draft? Yeah, this is that movie. This is the first draft. It's not good. It's not good. The tone doesn't know what tone it wants to be. You have Thor making the goofiest jokes ever. That's not even good jokes, just goofy. And then you have Christian Bale acting like he's Patrick Bateman again. He's acting his heart out, being absolutely horrifying. And then Thor just goes butt-ass naked. So I think it's enjoyable. I can enjoy it. I'm not going to watch it much, because I don't like it. I think it's a bad movie. She-Hulk Attorney at Law. It's average. It's average. I don't think there's much, it's not, as awful as, what's his name, the Critical Drinker guy says, because, he's just a misogynist and he hates women. I don't think it's bad. I think I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. Sure, the speech in the first episode was pretty cringeworthy, but I get the message they're going for, for empowering women. But then you have, the joke in the 9th episode, the final episode, that really, really just didn't work, Kelvin. I don't like it. Oh, it was Kevin or Kelvin. I don't know. One of those. It was Kevin Feige. I don't think it was a very good joke. But I think it was a pretty good joke. But I don't think it, in terms of the entire MCU, it doesn't impact it in quite the right way if you have a character that knows it's in a show and literally exits their own show and crawls out onto the Disney Plus main channel. I don't think overall the hierarchy of the MCU is a bit shaky. It's a bit shaky after one of your characters can just delete its own show. So yeah, I think it's enjoyable. I didn't find it, just, as ridiculously feminism woke as what the Critical Drinker would say. But it's not bad. It's not bad, that's why it's on average. It's enjoyable, but I wouldn't watch it much. Werewolf by Night, I haven't seen it. I don't plan to see it. I know it's got style, but I think it was around, what was it, Eternals, that I hit the burnout of Marvel content, that I pushed myself to go watch the Multiverse of Madness. Then I liked Thor Ragnarok, so I forced myself to go see Love and Thunder because I thought I might actually like it, and I didn't. And then, so I just skipped over Hawkeye, What If. I didn't care for WandaVision. I don't want to watch Miss Marvel, and I didn't really, I wasn't particularly excited about Werewolf by Night. I know Michael Giacchino directed it, the guy who did the scores like the Batman and Up. He's a perfect composer, the Batman, as I've said, Up, as I've said. It's Finn McMissile. That's just the best movie soundtrack of all time. There is only one correct opinion. It's Finn McMissile is the best soundtrack in history. No contest. Wakanda Forever is the worst Marvel movie I've seen. I'm sorry. I hate it. I find it impossible to really make a compelling, well, actually write a review, because I planned to make a review for this movie back when it came out, you know, because I really hated it, but I can't put it into words because it's impossible. I can't think of much from the movie except the writing was bad, the villain was horrendous. I see so many people gushing over Namor. No, he's a terrible villain. He's Fishman. It's so awful. It's awful. Everything about the movie, except, you know, the nice tributes to Chadwick Boseman, everything else is it's just abysmal. I can't watch it. Then we have Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I know, you know, you're all probably infuriated with my ranking of Wakanda Forever, but yeah, we can all agree Ant-Man and the Wasp is terrible, right? We can all agree on that. I'm sure we can. Quantumania is just awful. I don't need to say much. Then we got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Yeah, it's really great. It's not, you know, it's not spectacular as the other two movies are. It's nowhere near how good the two movies are, actually. I gave both of them 5 stars. And Guardians of the Galaxy 3 gets a 4 stars. 4 stars from me. I think it's great. It's a great movie. Just nowhere near these two. Easily one of the best, you know, Marvel movies. It's up there. It's in the top 10. Well, actually, it's not. I don't know. I think I made a list. I made my own list on Letterboxd of my ranking of the MCU. So I'll link my profile, I suppose, and you can go check that out. The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special is good. It's fun. I don't need to say much. Kevin Bacon sings. Kevin Bacon gets abducted. Kevin Bacon shows up. Kevin Bacon is Kevin Bacon. It's a fun little holiday movie. Secret Invasion, I don't want to see that. From what I've heard, it will kill your soul, so I don't plan to see it, to be honest. And yeah, that's my list. I know most of you will disagree with Guardians not being up there, Avengers Age of Ultron being up there, Wakanda Forever being down there. But hey, it's my opinion, not yours. And in my opinion, Wakanda Forever is terrible. So is Black Widow. And so is Quantumania. Overall, it's my list. That's my list. That's all I got.